first place player in individual points. He has 12 wins. No one has that. He's 7-2 against Protoss, and he's only lost 4 times. So half of his losses were against Protoss, but if you look at this win ratio, more than half his wins were also against the matchup. He's played 9 games with Protoss. He's got a lot of Pro League experience. He's beaten so many Protosses in Code S. You know, he made it quite deep in the tournament. And this guy is really, really on top of the world right now when it comes to this win ratio in this matchup.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons, you know, why I love the fact that they're putting him out first here. He's going to be up against MVP Billowy, a guy who all killed KT, maybe not by his own hands, but by KT's help as well, but he still has the confidence and the play style, this kind of confusing play style that really throws off a lot of strong players, and he's been able to win a bunch of games like that. I'm really curious to see if he could possibly get a game off of Maru. I'd probably favor Maru here, but Billowy definitely has a chance.
Yeah, he certainly does, man. The map is Yeonsu. He's not opting to go with the Frost map that we saw him play on earlier, where he just plays a weird late game style. Could be anything on this 2-player map. The winning team will take an early lead and force that second player out. Who's going to get that first momentum here in our grand finals for round 2 at the SPL?
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the bottom left on Yeonsu to start things off in the green for the JIN Air Green Wings, the Terran player. It is Maru.
Now his opponent to the top right, the all-killer, the former OGS player for MVP, it's Billowy. And boy, is his smoke billowing, man.
They're making that fire as big as possible. They're blowing that smoke. They're making it into a giant fire.
He's like signaled to all ships in the area, look out, I'm here, man.
That's actually such
Stay
a good
away
metaphor
from
for
the
this guy.
island, like, do not come.
It's so true. Because, I mean, when he came out, we were like, you know, he's very cheesy. He's very, you know, a different kind of play style. It's very, you know, different from a lot of different players that play this game. And he just, like, came out and just started billowing that smoke, man. He was like, do not come near me. I am going to hurt you.
No.
And he's done it so many times.
In this matchup, playing against Billowy is like playing StarCraft while also solving a Rubik's Cube. You have to figure out exactly what he's doing. You have to think about all the little pieces of what build he's showing you. And if you make one mistake, then he's gonna kill you. And on this map in particular, I think what anybody who looked at Billowy 2-3 weeks ago would say is, oh, of course he's just going to do Blink Stalker all in here. But I think he may do the Blink Fake into 3-base. He may also do a DT drop on this map because Maru has shown that DTs can be a weakness for him in this matchup. It's happened to him more than once where DT's just gotten into his main base and he's had no response for that.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's identified the fact that, you know, Maru's lost it before, he could be weak against this style of strategy, what better way to possibly take a game off of this, you know, this mountain, this giant, the guy who's the most winning player in all of Pro League, than to do a build like that? It definitely could be possible. We're going to have to see. Maru himself going for a gas first. Going to go for some tech-oriented play here. Drops that factory right away.
Yeah, a really fast factory here. Now, with this, he's going to be able to pressure quite early. And since it's in the main base, it seems to be probably Hellions and a Marine drop, where you see the Hellions come into the natural by ground and the Marines go into the main base. Can sometimes be the opposite, though, depending on how you want to play it. He's also checked for proxies behind his natural mineral line, and now he's going to go into the main base of Billowy. Try to identify the third pylon location. We'll see if Billowy actually keeps that Zealot. Does not, cancel it at the last possible second.
Very interesting. Goes right into that Stalker.
Yeah, his Nexus is slightly delayed, actually, as a result.
Yeah. I guess he's not exactly sure what Maru's doing at his own base, so he wants to get that Stalker out just in case, you know, a Reaper comes into base. Just wants to have it to ward out that SCV if it's coming in.
I wonder if he'll actually take a Nexus at all. You may even just do a one-base play with Blink or something. Thing is, you know, he's not banked up a ton of gas. Looks like he just wants to play this a little bit safer, and he will drop that Nexus. Probe coming down now. You know, like you were saying, get the Stalker out, scout a little bit, poke a little bit, get ready for what's coming his way. Now, Widowmine comes out here, so we're not going to see the Hellions, as I predicted, but it looks like he wants to be a little bit more directly confrontational with those Widow Mines. They can do so much direct damage. There's the Hellion.
Yeah, he has a Hellion. He has Widow Mine out as well. And with that starport, could definitely get those medevacs as well for some drops. Looks like he's going to go right for that. Drops down that medevac. And this is going to be interesting. We're going to have to see how Billowy responds to this. We're going to have to see when he knows this is coming and how exactly he's going to fend it off with this play.
Yeah. Now, Robotics comes up here, actually. And will we see him at a Twilight Council with this, like we've seen already on Frost? Or is he just going to completely throw a gear into everything he's built so far? Okay, no, there's the Twilight Council.
There it is. And why not do, you know, he's up against Maru, but look at this. Maru's going to drop down a very early bunker, and Billowy has no idea. He does not have any units out there. His Mothership Core is not near the Nexus. And look at this. We have Hellions coming across the map along with the drop with 6 Marines and a Widow Mine.
This is looking really good for Maru, man. He's got, with this bunker completed, he will have so much DPS on that Nexus, and now he sees it. But it's too late, and even catching Maynarding probes here for a second. Doesn't kill any of those with the Hellions, but here come the Marines into the main base. If he could target down that Mothership Core, that would be huge. There's the Nexus Cannon, wards this off. But guess what? That means no Nexus Cannon at the natural. A second bunker is started, and boy, oh boy, is Billowy in trouble right now.
Oh, he's in huge trouble. He's trying to add those 2 Desperation Gateways as well as those Immortals, trying to get as many units out as possible. Could snipe this Widow Mine. Oh my God, he gets the medevac.
Incredible micro there by Maru at the last possible second. He saves it. A cancel on the bunker. The shields of the Nexus are gone. Now Blink is started. He's getting an Immortal out as well. It seems to be his only chance of victory here to just do a counter all-in after the Nexus falls. He is going to start poking at that a little bit on that bunker. Needs to just make sure he keeps the Stalker's shields up as best as he can. There's no SCVs over here to repair, so he will eventually kill that. Great micro here by Billowy so far, but he does lose a Stalker. Here comes that Immortal. The Mothership Core is down.
Mothership Core is down. He's lost 2 Stalkers as well, but you know, with that Immortal, he's definitely going to have a much better chance of holding this off. So he does have 1 more bunker, Maru does, but that Immortal is so good at getting it down. Very nice micro out of Billy as well, but you know, he loses a Stalker there, maybe not the best, but looks like he is going to be able to ward this off eventually.
Yeah, you know, he did kill that Stalker with targeting on the bunker. Now, the question is, who's ahead here now? Well, I think Maru is slightly. Now, his command center is almost complete. He has siege tanks coming out. He's got a Raven out. He is going to be able to, with 29 SCVs to 31, have a pretty competitive economy, especially once those second mules start to fall. And, you know, he doesn't. The one thing he's really missing here is stim, and his Marine count is pretty low. He saved a lot of those units earlier. He's actually going to go for a counter drop. I'm not sure if this is really going to be the right choice for him, though, because this means he's not going to have any units at home. Great siege tank placement here. Needs to have SCVs to repair that bunker on the high ground. Yeah,
he really needs those SCVs. I mean, look at this. He's got the Observer here, Billowy does, and he has this Immortal on the low ground. It is going to be able to do so much damage to that bunker. The question here is, how much damage is this counter drop going to do? Is Billowy going to warp in closer to the base? He gets the siege tank very nicely there. Does not lose any health on that Immortal, but here's a counter drop. But with the blink, could possibly get the medevac. 1 more shot, but no, the Widow Mine does burrow, and you know, he is able to push off that 1 Stalker.
Yeah, this is not looking like it's doing a whole lot of damage here. On the other hand, the probes return back safely. And now there's some of a soft contain set up here for Billowy down at the natural of Maru. Maru, by the way, starts a Banshee, so he's got a Banshee on the way. He has siege tanks. He's adding an additional barracks right now. We may just see him push out with a 2011 style 111 type push here, where he's got the siege tanks and Marines with a Raven for PDD. The blink is not going to be too useful at holding this. Looks like rather instead of pushing out right now, he is going to secure that base. But there's a lack of robotic support bay here in the main base for Billowy. He doesn't really have any AoE damage, and this may come back to bite him. Against this type of composition, the hardest thing as a Protoss is to make sure you make enough Stalkers to have enough anti-air to deal with the Banshees, but also not too few Stalkers, or rather not too many Stalkers so the siege tanks and Marines just crush you.
Yeah, exactly. For now, though, Billowy, you know, he's not really adding any more tech. He's just trying to, it seems like, poke in here to the main base, but Maru is definitely very ready for it. He does have that Raven with the PDD, does have a bunch of Marines there as well. He starts +1 for his Marines as well. He does have this Banshee coming into the main base. That's a very late stim. That's something I'm very worried about for Maru. You know, he has a bunch of these Marines, but if they don't have stim, you're going up against Blink Stalkers. Here he does. He comes, blinks in, gets 1 tank. He's going to have to back off.
Loses the Observer as well to that Raven. Now, this is what I don't think he expects, the Banshee in the main base. Unfortunately, no cloaking here. So the Banshee will actually be killed. Only 3 kills there in total on the Banshee. So, you know, not the best trade there. It does force Warpins at home instead of at the attack. He lost that Siege Tank. I don't think he lost any Stalkers as a result. This has actually caused Maru to split up his Siege Tanks right now. One at the natural, and I think he's got another one. No, he never made another one, so he's a little bit vulnerable in the main base, honestly, with that late stim you were talking about.
Yeah, he's got a very late stim. He only has 2 Marauders as well. I mean, look at this. He's got the Siege Tank, you know, helping him here. Oh, very nice BDD is going to stop that bunker from going down. That was a very nice play by Maru. And Billowy's going to be forced back here with his Stalkers.
Yeah, he's going to start fighting a little bit here as his blink reaches its cooldown. Does blink away. The bunker got salvaged, by the way. If you guys were looking very closely there at the bottom right of the screen, you could see that. So he's able to save the bunker, you know, and then actually get the minerals back without even repairing it. So nice exchange there from Maru. Now back at home, we do finally have those Colossi on the way. +1 armor, the charge upgrade. Now the +1 attack upgrade is ahead for Maru, but with Chrono Boost, this is something that Billowy can catch up in quite soon. What's really, really important to note is that Maru has kept his SCV count so high during all of this, and he will have a 3rd command center soon. So economy-wise, Billowy's not really in a good place. He needs to use his tech somehow to even that out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very curious to see if Billowy's actually going to go for that 3rd base. He does have this probe coming out here, being a little bit sneaky. Could try to push down the forward pylon here. Did lose that other forward pylon that he had earlier. You know, he is making a bunch of extra gates here. Oh, he's going to try to snipe that medevac. Just barely does not get it. Is going to blink away, but he knows this push is coming. He knows he's got to be careful that drops could come into the main as well as come at the front.
Nice baiting here by Maru, but a good reaction at the same time from Billowy. +1 armor is getting oh so close to being done. Combat shield's not done yet either, so he doesn't want to engage against this first Colossi without those. So they're both going to wait a little bit longer. They both will have those upgrades. Maru's sending just a few Marines here. Snipes that Observer. Beautifully done. Raven goes down. Not before it drops the PDD. And here comes some charged Zealots. And Brendan, I think that's way too much cross. A blink forward could end those medevacs. 1 goes down. And the only one that's remaining there that's empty has very few hit points. 7 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my god, and there is a forward pylon towards the right side of the map. If you guys do see, more forward Warpins could come in here. Oh! Does get a bunch of damage on those Stalkers with those Widow Mines, but Billowy does go around it. Could definitely warp in a bunch more units here. I'm very worried for Maru right now. What does he have over here? He has some Widow Mines and 1 tank, but is it enough?
PDD is still active. That Widow Mine shot is dodged by the blink. A big stim here by Maru. He has 5 medevacs, though, to support, so the stim not going to hurt him too much. These rocks are buying him a lot of time, and time is certainly what he needs right now. Knows he's switched over into full-on Marauder production as much as he can afford here because he knows he needs that extra damage. He needs that kiting power, especially against the AoE on that Colossus. Only making 1 Viking at a time right now, that really, really hurts him.
Yeah, it really does. And looking at this ground army for Maru, it just doesn't look like so much. I mean, there's so many charged Zealots on the ground. They got the Guardian Shield as well as that +1. For now, it looks like Billowy is going to back away, maybe trying to bait a fight out here. Could definitely blink onto some of those medevacs if Maru does go a little bit too far forward. In the meantime, Billowy is going to take a 3rd base while he pressures at the front.
Now, this is really going to be the first time we actually... Oh, hold that thought. Maybe get a medevac here, not quite. This is even the first time Billowy's ever really transitioned into a macro-oriented, you know, Psionic Storm Templar-based play. There are a ton of Widow Mines out here for Maru, which he can now use to kind of move into a siege combat at the 3rd base. But Billowy's bought a lot of time here with this attack to get that 3rd Nexus up, and he really needed to because Maru has been building his SCV count this entire time. In fact, he's only 1 down right now. These Archons in a great spot. The Stalkers blink forward trying to pick up more Vikings, but with the Widow Mines here hitting 2 Archons, he's got to be very careful how he engages. I'm not sure he wants to commit to this one. Billowy really confident here, but he takes way too many losses.
He really needs an Observer here. Okay, finally gets it. He's going to take out all of these Widow Mines. Very nice play there. But, you know, like you said, taking a lot of damage. Those 2 Archons going down almost immediately.
That buff to Widow Mines, man. It really hurts.
It really does. Seems like Maru confident enough now after doing a bunch of damage to take and move that orbital command towards the 3rd base. And he is going to have a bunch more Widow Mines and possibly Siege Tanks in his comp to defend that as well.
That's 300 gas per Archon. That's 600 gas just blown up by shots on a Widow Mine. That's not even trading a unit. That's like just an exchange, that expensive payload. Now, here we go. We're going to see this drop shut down by Blink Stalkers. Most likely, he targets the wrong one. And will actually kill the Marauders on the ground there, but a pretty even trade for Maru. Escapes with most of those units. And now Maru has secured his 3rd base. And don't forget, it's at a location where you can both attack and defend a lot easier. The worker count still even, plus the mules, gives Maru a great lead in mineral income.
Yeah, Maru's definitely doing pretty nicely here on the economy side of things. Wondering, you know, I never saw the Storm research going down. It seems like he just wants to go purely Archon here. What do you think the idea is behind that?
Well, it's certainly easier. A lot of people will tell you one of the reasons why they may go pure Archon is because a player doesn't have good Storms. But in this case, I feel it's just simply because he doesn't have the resource to commit to Storm and then hope that it goes off at the same time. You know, it's a bit risky for him. He's taking the more stable Archon composition for now, a little bit light on the Archons, especially after losing those earlier. This is a tough engagement. Is he going to get crushed by rocks? Oh my god, that was so close. The Zealots are isolated now. Oh my god, there they go. They're trying to escape. So many of them will die though. And while the rocks are attacked, Vikings getting some volleys off on those Colossi. Now still a supply lead right now for Billowy, but attacking up this choke point seems suicidal. I can't believe he's going for it. Blinks forward here, Zealots to tank. Well, the Vikings having a fun time here, targeting down those Colossi, and Maru with the concave will crush this army.
Oh my god, what a bad engagement of Billowy. I can't believe he tagged up there. The Colossi were attacking the gas for so long, and the army of Billowy just gets decimated here. The Warped and Zealots are going to do absolutely nothing. He even has Ghost in the comp now. And Maru is just going to walk across. GG!
GG! Oh, Maru. What a back and forth game. A lot of questionable decisions on both sides. You know, I don't want to hurt any KT fans' feelings, but I feel like Billowy pulled a flash there. He just attacked right into that choke point, man. Only Ainz can make that happen and win the game. He just attacked right up a ramp into that choke point, which is, first of all, generally speaking, not a good idea. And then the rocks isolated his Zealots, giving away so much of his tanking power away for free. I feel like if he had those Zealots in a standard straight-up fight, maybe he takes it. But taking that sort of poor engagement really, really costs you as a Protoss. Like you said, the Colossi were attacking the refinery, not getting their maximum damage done. The Vikings were having a field day.
You know what this